And by the time everybody comes in, it'll be good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they heard you the first time. You've been in crypto for a while. Cabana Finance, everybody. And, you've been through a bunch of different tech bubbles, rises and falls. You're a value investor guy. Uh, Always on the lookout for the hot new thing. And
And growth,
it's
yeah.
good to know that there's always, like, something out there that has growth potential. Did I say value? I meant growth. But it's good to know that, like, Bitcoin is not the only thing that will ever be when it comes to, like, potential growth. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's always, like, those, I don't want to say penny stocks, but, like, first it was, like, weed stocks, then it was, like, psychedelic nootropics or whatever, and now it's, like, crypto. So it's, like, it's always a different thing to get involved in. It's all about timing, though.
Well, it's funny because I guess the weed bubble happened right around, around the same time the Bitcoin, the most recent one, the Bitcoin bubble did.
Right.
And it's just amazing how, it doesn't matter what, I guess, industry or sector, everything kind of sees a bubble every now and again. It's like space stocks, that was kind of like a recent thing. There still could be another one coming. I think there would have been one had the big C not happened. But yeah, the weed one definitely coincided around the recent crypto one, or the one of 2 years ago, I should say.
Yeah, from what I understand, I don't follow like weed stuff too much, but I think it's getting ready to kind of have its second go, almost like crypto, from what I gather. Some of the larger players are starting to emerge. Like, I don't really know if you're too involved in that, but
Yeah, I'm not too involved. I have like a name or two that I like. I think one of them's Cron,
yeah,
the symbol, and then the other one is CGC. But they've just been taking it. It was like, what, it go from like the teens up to the 50s, and then back to 30, and back up, and then it was like in the teens last I saw. But
yeah,
I guess it's the bubble popping, and then you got to find your footing, just like crypto has been doing for 2 years.
yep. So you got into crypto. Did you start with Bitcoin, or what did you start off with?
I started with Bitcoin. Yeah, so pretty much as the bubble was happening is when I started doing my research, because I do enjoy growth, enjoy casinos. Heck, the hockey team I sponsor is called the Gamblers.
Nice.
But
That's awesome.
but yeah, it's something for the long term that could be a revolutionary investment, and that's kind of what I look for. I don't look for what could get me mad gains in like 3 months. It's trying to get into something and build a position that's truly revolutionary.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, the more and more I research crypto, it was like, okay, well, this bubble's clearly popped, and thankfully, I was patient, and I just waited, and it was like 10K, and then I was like, and I'll admit I traded a couple tranches here and there, pretty much broke even on it, just in case it came down and then rested and then resumed its trajectory. Usually doesn't happen, and it didn't.
Yep.
And then kind of started getting down to that $6,000 level, and it just ground and ground and ground
Yeah.
and ground for.
I was
like,
waiting on
all
that
summer.
to break for like months. I mean, everyone knew it
Yeah.
was going to. It was more of like, oh, is it going to do it this time? And it just kept bouncing up and down.
Yeah, it was like the longest descending triangle ever. And then you kind of got the feeling, it's like, okay, well, if it does break, that's, or at least I got the feeling, I was like, if it does break, I think that's the time to go. And it finally broke, and then over that winter, just started nibbling, not trying to be a hero, because that can also get you wrecked pretty fast.
Yeah, totally.
And then got into that one, pretty much that in Ethereum. Just I like both, and it is possible for Hex people to like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin people to like Hex.
That's blasphemy. How dare you?
Actually, the buy the dip shirt can probably apply to Hex tonight.
Yeah, Yeah,
So
everyone, what you see on the screen right now is probably the first dip we've had in God knows how long. And so there you
yeah,
go. There's your dip. Perfect buying opportunity right there, which is healthy.
yeah, and yeah, and I think if I recall, it's kind of in the zone where the last whale from one of the games I think bought. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I mean, it's actually the way I think I like these. I like for it to sell off. I'm not looking to trade it. I'm, like Hexologist was talking about on the stream earlier. Or at least he mentioned it. It was like, I'm been in early, and I'm not going anywhere, and I'm not trying to, trade it or swing it or anything like that. And I'm like pre day 50. I'm fine with it. Everything here is gravy, and
Good.
it's just been an awesome experience, and especially to watch the community grow has just been too cool. Like your stream,
Yeah.
this discourse
Yep.
syndicate, those guys got a really cool thing going there.
Yeah, I've met so many cool
Um,
people through this, and like, it's just awesome. I've never been a part of something since day one, so it feels good. And it's still so
and
early.
that's the thing. Yeah, isn't that so
Yeah.
cool? Is like, you could even before day one, because I'm almost certain you followed Richard in this project even long before it. So it's like it's not like, oh, this thing launched and then a few days later you got in. It's like, okay, well, that was the play actually,
Yeah.
but you knew about it beforehand. You were there for the launch, and you've seen the whole thing happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Like everybody, nobody even like looks back when it comes to a chart. They don't even want to scroll back like 2 or 3 months. But like, there's all that flat area that you see like before this big pump, before that whale doubled the price. That was the time to be like really in it. And so that's where like I'm happy I bought some. I definitely bought on day two. I FOMO'd on day two, but I was making little buys the whole way along. And it's just
Yep.
all relative. It's like all that, all those ups and downs in month 1 and 2 look like nothing at all compared to where we're at now. So just like
Mhm.
laws of scale.
I'll admit I'm a day one hexer,
Ooh.
but I can say that because it was a fraction of ETH. I only did that is just because I wanted to like try out the
Yeah.
AA, get a feel for it, and then kind of was just like, okay, cool, this is how this works. I know how it works.
Oh, so you didn't go all in.
And oh, no, 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 I was day
Okay.
one putting some
Okay.
in. No, no, I did. Thankfully, yeah, like I said, I'm pre day 50, so like days, I want to say, I'd say 20 to 45 ish is, I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and that's where I placed my bets. And it was it was interesting to look. Well, it is an interesting time to look back on it because so many people would look at the EOS chart and be like, okay, well, you should not buy until day 120. This is how it's going to go. It's going to go exactly like the EOS chart. And you're thinking, it's like, come on, man, it's not that easy. It's like you kind of have to. This, it's its own project. This nobody's ever seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And you would listen to Richard, talk. I listened very closely as to, his, no expectations, but he would, throw some things out there and just be like, hypothetically, if this, and this happened, this is probably an area where I would get in eventually. And this is, I think, before the project was even
Yeah.
launched. And just listened carefully, took notes like that, and thankfully, uh, you know, it worked out. And then, of course, we have a bunch of, or one or two people who will not be named doing videos after the fact.
Well, they took all of
And
them
then they
down.
got
They took
mad.
all of them down. I don't know if you saw.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't.
The guy that's making like the Hex competitor or whatever, he took all his videos down. Probably because he didn't want to be associated with Hex anymore and have people call him out for that as well. But I'm sure they exist somewhere on the internet. So, you know.
Oh, well, that's a shame because I was actually going to say that one of them where I had say a big day in there to where I tried the game to AA, and I was just like, okay, well, it's been kind of low. I'm gonna put a sizable chunk in there compared to what I was doing. It's nothing whale like or crazy anything like that, but I was like, okay, this is gonna be my day. I go for it. So at the time, of course, that guy was bullish. So, I'd watch, some of his content, and I remember it on my screen playing his day, and, he's like, oh, he's going, that was when the hex stat was still
Yeah.
live.
Wow.
So
What a
you could
throwback.
see, yeah, you could see the chart of the 24 hours when the ETH came in, and he points, and I was like, he's pointing right at my buy, and he's like, this guy, he's like, he got in too early, because I think all these guys right here, and he's pointing to the chart, and he's like, I really think these guys are going to buy way too early, end up buying way too early, and you're going to get millions of hex for an ETH. And I was like, okay, buddy, okay. I was like, I hope I'm right, just so I can go back and review this. But I guess since you say the videos are taken down, I won't be able to do
Yeah,
that. But
I know. There was so much like vindication I wanted to go get because he basically admitted to like, arbitrage trading was like his strategy. And what a lot of people don't want to talk about or they beat around the bush on is like the whole reason that these, let's call them anonymous whales, are entering the adoption amplifier lobby every day is to prevent people from just buying up a shit ton. Because now that we have a real market, everyone's trading on a real market. They're going to go set the price where you can buy and sell. And you don't want it to be like, everyone forgets about the AA, so one guy gets to go buy 500 million hex one day because he's the only guy in there and then just sell it all immediately. Like, that's just not good for the price. So it's like very, very helpful that we have that happening. People want to sit on their soapbox and be like, it's unethical, immoral, whatever. But like, you guys should all be happy. I mean, it's like bootstrapping the entire ecosystem. Like,
well, who at the beginning who predicted Uniswap like as big as it would be with this project?
Yeah. And I mean, like, even if we didn't have, like, if we did it technically the quote unquote right way or the way that people might want to see it, like without the alleged recycling, which I will neither confirm nor deny, but like, that we'd have to be waiting a long ass time for the AA to be over to really get price discovery. Whereas now we can get price discovery after like month 2 or 3, like real markets. So I don't know why that's not really, really cool to everybody. Like, that's awesome to me. I don't know why people take such a sour look at that, but it just blows my mind. They don't like it because they're not in it, which is what it comes down to. Or like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Or they feel offended. They feel like, they're not going to fall for that scammy, whatever marketing tactics.
Oh, you sounded like a certain author there, just with those repetitive words of the same.
Yeah.
Scammer. Oh my gosh, it's like part of the greatest hits. Hopefully, we'll just compile a list of those and look back on those one day. Because man, that's one. I try not to give negative dudes too much pub, but man, that guy's one of the 3 that really gets to me. That and the fail pool Pinocchio guy.
And God, that guy was awful. Man,
holy crap!
I just felt bad.
But
he made himself look like an idiot. Like, and Rich was like, all right, Pinocchio, like whatever. Like, he's getting all riled up.
What's funny? Yeah, I almost didn't listen to that stream because the guy just gets on my nerves or whatever. And I saw a lot of people in chat saying, just, oh, I only made it 20 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I kind of feel that. And I was like, you know what? No, I kind of just like, went out in the sun one day and kind of just sat on the beach, plugged it in, and I made it past 20 minutes. And then if you actually think about what's taking place, like, Richard is just cool, calm, collected, explaining calmly pretty much everything about the project, and Pinocchio is just doing like this gotcha thing, and then towards the end, I guess it was like the last hour maybe, they're like, oh well, this guy staked for 14 years. I'm like, dude, that's kind of the point of the project.
Yeah, everyone's talking about when can you sell, like the whole point is to buy it and just hold it. Like, don't trade it. Like, it's a trader's nightmare because it's hard to trade and they don't want to do the main function that Hex does, which is staking. So I don't know. People are getting this weird idea of like what crypto is, and it's just becoming like another, like, everyone's a wannabe trader. It's like the .com bubble. But yeah, I mean, hey, everyone's happy now that got in on day one. Like we all broke even. Like I'm seeing, anyway, yeah, Hexologist FOMO'd in day one. Yeah, a lot of us did. Um, and you broke even a few months ago, so now you can't really be mad about anything. And I feel like that gives like another breath of like energy to the whole project. Is like everyone that could have been wrecked from like day one to day 70 or whenever they broke even is now in the green. So like, the more positive you are, like the more incentivized you are to say good things about the project and to be like, on the side of Hex and just see this thing do well, which is awesome. It becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy, but the snowball just has to start off really small and get bigger over time.
Yeah, and it has, and there's no way like the chart would go like it's been going. Like it's got to rest, and it's resting now. And for me personally, who's someone who's in for the long term and not trying to game it or trade it or anything like that, I love this because hopefully, it. I'm not saying it keeps going down. Hopefully we build a base here, and then over the next few weeks or however long it takes, by the time the summer rolls around, one of my favorite quotes is the broader the base, the higher the space.
Yep.
And we can't just go straight up in a parabola. I mean, we can, and it's awesome, and hopefully someday, yeah. I mean, it has been, but someday we'll get those, and we'll plateau, and then we'll keep going up some more. But in terms of just technical action, I know people are like, oh, it's dumping hard today. It's
people
only
people don't look past like 24 hours. Like they can't think of like you don't even remember like what you ate for breakfast, and people are just talking about like how Hex is dumping. It's the worst thing in the world. It's like zoom out. But that's one of like the best parts about this whole thing is because if you do it the right way and you do stake it, I think it gives you some time to really think and like build cool stuff for the project. Like now that everyone that really believes in it, they're all staked and we're all sitting back, we're relaxed, having a good time, building the community. I'm making videos, I'm doing ads, like other people, Hexologist does something every fucking day. Like it gives people time to not trade and do more productive things for Hex. Like it gives developers time to, instead of developing a trading strategy, now they can develop like cool sites, cool wallets, cool like stuff. So it takes, and that's the thing is like it's disrupting what a lot of people's worldview is, that like crypto's only trading, that's all you can really do. And a lot of the channels out there, that's all they really do is they just talk about candlesticks every day. It's like, how much can you really say? Like I've wasted too much time.
So oversaturated.
Yeah. I mean, have you traded much, like swing trading?
I'm kind of like a buy and holder. If I were to actually have the time to trade, I'd be probably, my time frame would be kind of the swing trader mentality. But like I don't have time for that right now. I'm busy with work and running a little small marketing agency, so it's just like that takes up plenty of my time. And maybe one day I'll be trading with my Hex money.
Yeah.
But
well, that's cool, man. What kind of digital marketing do you do?
I'm pretty much like SEO, pay-per-click, all that stuff.
Okay.
So I think we might have Telegram chatted, just briefly about some ads. I know you've been running some on YouTube.
Yeah.
I played around with some just Google ad keyword searches, and it's funny to see what people are searching on, just in terms of cryptocurrency and how they go about seeking the next great crypto investment. So it's been a fun little experiment. I'm not going crazy with it, but yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You can get like I've got this keyword search app or whatever. So if you look up Hex coin, it'll show you like the most similar searches to that. So let's take a look. If I look up Hex coin, there's like this add-on to Chrome called Keyword Surfer, and it'll tell you like really similar keywords and how much search volume they're getting. And I think like Hex scam is like getting a lot of volume. So all you got to do is you got to go in your videos and put Hex scam in everything. And so instead of like when people are looking for confirmation bias that Hex is a scam, they'll just get directed to your stuff.
Yep.
Actually, This is weird. Right now, it's telling me that similar keyword ideas are like Bitcoin price of Bitcoin. So it seems like a lot of people are now looking for Hex price. That's good. That's actually changed. That's a really good sign, actually. It's not on my screen. I'm on my other account. But yeah, back in the day, it was like you look up Hex and the similar keywords were like Hex scam or like Richard Hart scammer, stuff like that. So
yeah,
now it's price of Bitcoin is 15% similar.
Is Hex a scam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been proven. It's been proven. It's obviously a scam, so move on. Like, you guys proved it, so, what else?
We are the robots that followed Hexologist, the robot. So, it's just a whole robot YouTube network. I don't know who's on later.
Yeah.
Maybe RG3 or something has a stream, but, it's just rotating robots.
Right. Well, I love that people are willing to show their face in the community, too. Like, a lot of the people I've met actually kind of have balls on like a lot of other crypto people that are just keyboard warriors. Like, I'm not saying they're not going to come on and debate, but even if they did, like, I don't think they would have like a civil debate. Like, I don't think they're really that kind of people out there. But
yeah, and I mean, everybody has a different way of going about it. Like, I'd love our Telegram groups, but if I'm in there, I'll just say something and get out. I'm not the type to just kind of hang around and chat, but I do love to read what's going on, what people are thinking. Every now and then somebody will be like, oh, big whale buy or something like that. I'm like, oh, all right, I want to check this out.
Yeah.
And really some of the groups, if you know where to go, have really good discussions. So those are the ones that I usually spend my time in and really gain a lot from.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Some of them at least. But
that's right.
But yeah, I mean, Telegram is one thing. You can't really say Hex too often on the internet, but there's ways to go about it where you can open it up for discussion without being... it sucks when you see people get tribal, even on the Hex side, and they'll go into another chat room and they'll just be like, hey, I heard all you retards were talking shit about Hex. It's like, no. Come on, guys. You gotta be better. You gotta be better than that. Like, I mean, or not. Whatever. Yeah, it's easy to talk shit on the internet.
The Tone Vase had a video the other day, and of course I went in there. It was just like, oh, he's taking questions, and I was hey, have you free claimed? With all that, BTC that you got. And I wasn't the only one in there. And I guess the moderator just flipped out and lost it because so many people were asking about Hex. It wasn't, just me. But I mean, there were a lot of people asking, and a lot of them were doing it nicely. And it was just an all caps message of Hex is a scam. You will not say that name in here, you will be banned. And it's just like, wow, the blacklisting is just unreal. Like, I know, don't get me started.
Yeah, well, they want it to fail so bad because it doesn't fit in with their worldview. Like, in their mind, Bitcoin is like their god, and like, it's great. I love Bitcoin. I've got some Bitcoin, and I hope it goes really, really high. But
same.
Yeah, I hope everyone gets rich. But I don't know. It just is a little weird. People start to act funny. Also, like, people with nothing better to do.
Bitcoin's been...
Sorry.
I was going to say, Bitcoin's been coming down or in a bear market for 2 years. So Hex comes in, new kid on the block, and price go up.
Yeah.
And Bitcoin isn't going up nearly as fast. And, you get bitter or jealous or whatever. That's got to be part of it because it's just like the amount of hate. It's unreal.
It's like real hate
for some of these people.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I think I was telling you earlier before we started, like somebody told me like they wanted me to end up in jail. It's like, dude, like I'm not even doing like anything. I'm just making videos and talking about stuff I like. Like,
yeah, and I think in your chat yesterday on Discourse, you guys were talking about that, like, oh, well, somebody could call, or there's a movement, or people could run to the SEC or whatever, and you're like, what are they going to do, shut down Ethereum?
Right.
I think RG3 was just like, well, they could come after us, theoretically. I'm just like, okay, well, if that happened, like, I guess technically if you're a Hex holder, you bought into the scam, so wouldn't the Hex hold? It was just like, come on, man, it would get so messy and so weird, and
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
the FUD out there is
but I think
amazing.
it might. We might get pretty weird and start to see some unknown territory, like new levels of FUD, because Hex is going to be really, really big. I just have this feeling, like I'm kind of feeling like the rumblings right now, but it's not really there yet. When this gets on like the top page of CoinMarketCap, people are going to be outraged and they're going to try everything they can to stop it. And like, it might get a little weird, but I'm just going to keep
Yeah,
being
that's
calm and making videos and trying my best to not give in and not just like go off on like these assholes out there. But I mean, everyone's just waiting for that day where like the large whales like somehow dump and run away and just run off into the sunset.
uh,
Because in their
I
mind,
think
go ahead.
the popular guess is what, big payday? Is that what you're
Oh, I've heard Big
hearing
Payday.
the
I've heard,
most?
yeah. Well, Big Payday is the new one because it didn't fail right away. Because like first it was like, oh, it's not even gonna launch, or like first it was Richard Hart exit scammed because you gave him all your Ethereum and he ran away. And it's like no, like he's still around and the project is done now, so there's nothing really there. And then it was recycling, so a lot of it is like Richard Hart is artificially propping up the price, and then it's like no, you can go to Uniswap and see all the buyers and sellers, and like there's 23 other exchanges where you can go see people buying and selling. Pretty sure it's not one guy making all those buy and sell orders.
Yeah, I watched a video again. Not the. It was on a hater channel
Yeah,
probably 3 days ago, and they talked about hex price and the price being manipulated. Not one mention in that price discussion about Uniswap. It's just the price. The price is being propped up. Look at the AA. Not one mention of Uniswap. It was so ignorant and
yeah, they didn't know.
just
I mean, they were
yeah.
also like, where can you even buy it? Where can you even sell it? It's like 24 exchanges, man. Like, look them up. Like, no, nobody
Maybe we
wants to
watch the
Google
same
it.
channel. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, I'm not even gonna mention the
Yeah.
name, but yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So we
yeah,
did. But that's another thing too. That brings up an interesting point. Is a lot of people are, I see, just don't give them the views, or don't open your eyes to that negativity. Don't bring that into your crypto life or whatever. And I can understand that, out of sight, out of mind. But for me, I'd like to know what the haters are saying. I want to know, how are you trying to come at this?
I mean, yeah, you do have to
Is
know
there
your
something?
enemy.
Is there something I'm missing? It could be. I could be wrong. Or is it? I just want to understand your way of thinking. That way,
Yeah,
you know, it either reinforces, my beliefs and your beliefs about the project, or maybe just by chance, hasn't happened yet. They can point out something and be like, "Oh, didn't think about that."
yep,
But I think you and I and so many people in this community have researched this good enough where it's just like, okay, we've seen this argument
yeah.
12 times over. Okay.
Yeah. I think I've weighed a lot of the pros and cons, and people have come out to me trying to like convert me to like the other side, like whatever that is, by like showing me all this, dirt and quote unquote dirt, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen it all, man. Like I still think the probability is pretty high for Hex. Like,
Yeah.
there's not like. It is good to be open-minded, though. That's a really good point. Like, I can still be proven wrong, and I do say that in my videos too. I'm like, yeah, this could all go to shit. Like, there could be a critical bug in Bitcoin tomorrow, and they could all go to zero. And we don't know, right? But I mean, I'm just playing this game, and it's a really fun game. Zion says it's like when Bitcoin was banned multiple times. Yeah, I know, dude. It's like they're gonna have to make a website for Hex obituaries pretty soon. Actually, somebody should make that. Somebody should make like a
I mean, get to working on it now,
yeah.
because just have it set up. The content's just going to be flowing in. It's going to be free content. Just update it, every week.
That's actually
and,
I might even make that. I'm gonna write that down.
there you go. Get a nice little referral link in
Yeah,
there.
Hexcoin obituaries, and then we could put all the articles of like Richard Hart exit scam. There's already like 4 or 5 that like yeah.
That was one of my favorites, actually. What was it, back in January? The project was like a month old, and the exit scam had already taken place. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's what? Yeah,
Or like the failure because it was trading at 1 Satoshi. It's like it's brand new. Like it's got to start at nothing. Like Like, what do you think it's gonna start out the gate being like $1? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
You know what it's at now? What's it at? Satoshi's 47.
I could share my screen with you. Let's see. Share screen. Now you can see what I'm seeing. Does that work?
Yeah, just took a second.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, we can go to hex.live, check it out. What class are you in? Are you in like do you even want to say the dabbing dolphin, super shark?
Not to say
Smart.
we're into the feed.
You're not worried about getting eaten by any of these?
Hell